Hi everyone,
and
welcome to the
sleepy
So Small
scientist.
It Dances.
I'm
Just
really
beneath
happy
the
you're here.
threshold of sight. Tonight, we're
Not a
going to go on a
sound,
calm
not
and
a
quiet
whisper,
trip to learn something
yet it
amazing.
hums with
So
life.
get comfy, take a deep breath
Inside your
and let's
body,
enjoy this peaceful
trillions of
science story
cells
together.
move together in a quiet
Before we
rhythm,
start, tell
each
me in the
one
comments,
pulsing with a time
where
in
are you
all its
watching
own.
from and what time is it
These
for you
cells
right
do
now?
not have
If you like
drums or
relaxing science
metronomes,
videos,
yet
don't forget
somehow
to
they
tap
know
the
when
like
to
button.
divide,
Now let's
when
begin.
to rest,
And when to reach out in tiny waves of energy. This timing is not random. It is guided by ancient instructions written into your very being, instructions older than memory, older than the bones of mountains. From the moment you were a cluster of dividing cells, a kind of inner rhythm has played, a symphony of tiny lives working in unison. Deep in the heart of each cell lives a gentle clock. It is not a ticking clock like the ones we wear or place on walls. It is a molecular rhythm, created by cycles of proteins that build up and fade away, rise and fall like breath. These proteins, some with names like clock and BML1, bind together, drift apart and reset themselves in patterns so predictable they could rival the turning of the Earth. They are what scientists call circadian rhythms, natural cycles that help the body know when to wake, when to sleep, when to eat, and when to heal. They do this without words, without lights, without any conductor in sight. Just a loop of chemistry endlessly unfolding like the tide pulling the sea. Even the simplest creatures, tiny single-celled organisms floating in a drop of pond water, obey these rhythms. They know when the light is coming, and they know when to hide, and though they have no eyes or ears, they respond as if they sense the sunrise itself. How can they know? Because life learned long ago to dance in step with the universe. As the Earth spins and the light returns, cells have evolved to listen. Every sunrise leaves a mark, every sunset a silence. Your body remembers those changes, not with thought but with chemistry. That memory sits in the smallest engines of life. Now think of your heartbeat. It is not just a thump in your chest, it is a response, a ripple, a signal that something deeper is keeping time. The cells in your heart beat together because they share signals through electric pulses, silent sparks that leap across membranes. But those sparks are also controlled by your cellular clocks. These clocks tell your heart to slow down when the moon rises and to quicken when daylight touches your skin. Even if you flew across time zones, your cells would try to adjust, rebalancing themselves to match the light of the new sky. They resist change at first, but given enough time, they align once again. This rhythm is not confined to one place. Your liver, your skin, your lungs all have clocks of their own. Like a scattered orchestra tuning before a concert, these organs communicate with one another through hormones and signals. They wait for cues from a special place in the brain, deep inside the hypothalamus. This tiny part of your mind houses the suprachiasmatic nucleus, a name long and complicated, but its job is simple, to keep time. It receives signals from your eyes, letting it know when light has arrived. In response, it tells the rest of the body, the day has begun. This command travels not through shouting or alarms, but through gentle chemical messengers, flowing like notes in a song. And yet sometimes the body sings a different tune. When we sleep too late or rise too early, when we stare too long at glowing screens, or cross oceans in hours, we disturb the harmony. The rhythm stumbles. We feel tired, dizzy, unfocused. That feeling has a name, circadian misalignment. It is the biological version of being out of step. The cells lose their timing, the music falters, and still, they try to find their way back. Slowly, patiently, they retune themselves, waiting for the rhythm to return. But how did all of this begin? Long before cities or clocks or even humans, the Earth spun in darkness and light. For billions of years, life was shaped by the turning of the planet. The first life forms learned that light meant food and dark meant rest. Over time, those lessons sank deep into biology itself. Even now, when scientists take cells from a human and place them in a dish, those cells still follow a 24-hour rhythm. They remember, not because they think, but because they feel the passage of time in their very chemistry. They do not need a brain to know the hour. They only need what they've always had, molecules that rise and fall like waves on the shore. Your body is not a machine that runs on a fixed setting. It is more like a garden, changing with the season, adjusting to the sun. When you eat, when you move, when you dream, it all shifts the rhythm. A meal at the wrong hour can confuse your liver. A sleepless night can silence the beat in your muscles. But the beauty of the system is this: it never stops trying. Like a song that drifts in and out of tune, your body returns to harmony again and again. It listens to the world around it, adjusts the volume, softens the notes, and continues to play. And what about the universe? Could it be that the rhythm within you is not separate from the stars, but part of the same music? Scientists have found that solar activity, magnetic waves from space, and even the cycles of the moon can influence the body in tiny ways. Some call it coincidence, others call it mystery. But perhaps it is something deeper, a quiet memory of where we came from. After all, the atoms in your cells were born in stars, the calcium in your bones was forged in cosmic fires, the iron in your blood once floated in the heart of a supernova. You are in every sense part of the universe's rhythm. The beat inside you is not just a heartbeat, it is a pulse that has echoed across time, carried forward by life itself. So tonight, when your breath slows and your eyes begin to close, remember that the rhythm inside you is not alone. It is part of a larger song, one written in waves and molecules, in dawns and dusks, in silence and motion. Your body listens, your cells respond, and somewhere in that stillness life keeps perfect time. Let's drift deeper now into the spaces where cells do more than just survive. They communicate, collaborate, and remember. Imagine each cell not as a machine, but as a musician in a vast and silent orchestra. There are no instruments in their hands, no sheet music before their eyes, yet together they perform a composition more ancient than sound itself. This composition is life's internal rhythm, a pulse that doesn't come from the outside world, but grows from within. Your cells are aware of one another in a way that has nothing to do with thought. They respond to chemical messengers, electrical pulses, and patterns of light and dark. It's as if every organ in your body knows the same language, one written in cycles, not words. Inside your brain, a quiet dance takes place every second. Neurons, shaped like branching trees, send signals from one to another, creating thoughts, memories, and feelings. But what we often forget is that these signals are also shaped by time. There are certain hours when the mind is most alert, when memory flows more freely, when creativity quietly blooms. There are other hours when your thoughts begin to slow, when dreams start to stir. This is no accident. This is your circadian rhythm in action, nudging your brain gently toward focus, then gently away, like the rise and fall of waves on a calm shore. When you feel drowsy in the late afternoon, it's not because you're weak, it's because your body remembers something older than the clock on the wall. Even your immune system listens to the rhythm. It sends out its defenses more strongly at night, when you sleep, when you are still. During the day, it stands down slightly, allowing your body to focus on movement, digestion, thought. At night, the immune cells come alive, repairing, restoring, learning. Scientists have found that vaccines are more effective when given at certain times of day. Medications work differently depending on when they're taken. The body is not passive, it is paying attention. Every hour is a signal, every moment a doorway into deeper coordination. The heart may beat its own drum, but it listens to the entire orchestra of systems within. Consider your metabolism, how your body transforms food into energy. That too is tied to time. Your gut knows when to digest deeply and when to rest. There are hours when your body absorbs nutrients most efficiently, and others when it simply stores what it cannot use. A late-night meal, though comforting, can confuse the rhythm. It asks the body to stay alert, to work, to churn, when what it really longs to do is slow down and recover. When we ignore this timing, we do not break the rhythm. We only make it harder for the body to find its way back. And yet the body tries. Always it tries. That's the astonishing part. Even in the face of noise, stress, screens, travel, and sleepless nights, the body never gives up its music. Like a musician who plays on through static and rain, your cells continue their rhythm. Slowly they adapt. They forgive the confusion. They adjust to the new dawn. This is why sleep matters so much, not just for rest, but for rhythm. Sleep is the conductor's pause, the moment when the music softens before beginning again. It is the time when your memories are filed away, when your heart rate slows, when your temperature drops like dusk settling over a quiet forest. It is not an absence of activity, it is a shift into another mode of time. When you dream, your brain is not idle. It is processing, it is rebalancing, It is listening to the same rhythm that guides your waking thoughts, but now with a gentler hand. Some scientists believe dreams may help keep your internal clocks aligned. Others think they may be the mind's way of checking in with the rest of the body, asking softly, "Are we still in sync?" No one knows for sure, but what we do know is this: without rhythm we lose more than sleep. We lose clarity, we lose harmony. The cells become tired, the organs speak over one another, and the music becomes a little less beautiful. The wonder of it all is that this rhythm is not limited to the individual. Human beings living together begin to share rhythms too. In a family, people start to sleep and wake at similar times. In communities, meals and prayers, work and rest all fall into patterns that mirror the turning of the earth. Even the heartbeat of a newborn baby can begin to mirror the rhythm of a parent's voice, felt through skin and breath and lullaby. We sing, not just internally but with one another. When a choir sings together, their heartbeats begin to align. When lovers sleep side by side, their rhythms can gradually merge. The body listens not only to the sun, but to touch, to voice, to presence. All of this reminds us that time, as we experience it, is not a machine moving forward. It is a circle, a spiral, a return. The rhythm of your cells is not unlike the phases of the moon, the seasons of the earth, the orbit of planets. When we feel out of time, it is often because we are out of rhythm. And when we return to simple patterns, sleeping with the dark, rising with the light, eating when hungry, resting when weary, the rhythm begins to heal. Your body wants this balance, it remembers it. Even if forgotten for years, it can find its way back in days. The memory is not in the mind, it is in the molecules. Even now, as you read these words or listen to this voice, your cells are adjusting. They are taking in the light around you, the silence between words, the pauses in your breath. You are not a passive listener. You are part of the rhythm. Every blink, every sigh, every quiet heartbeat is a note in a greater song. And this song stretches far beyond you. It touches every creature that breathes, every plant that opens with dawn and closes at dusk, every animal that sleeps beneath the stars. The same circadian rhythm that governs your sleep also stirs the petals of flowers and the wings of birds. It is a rhythm shared by whales in the sea and roots in the ground. Life itself is rhythmic. Life is timing. Life is the music that never ends. So the next time you feel out of step, the next time fatigue creeps into your bones or confusion clouds your thoughts, do not be hard on yourself. Simply remember that your cells are still trying to sing. Give them stillness, give them light. Let the natural rhythm return, and slowly, like dawn rising over a darkened field, you will feel the music again. You will remember that the rhythm inside you was never lost. It was only waiting to be heard. Now imagine your body not as a machine built for speed, but as a gentle instrument tuned to the slow harmonies of the universe. From your heartbeat to your breath, every rhythm in you exists not to rush, but to sustain, to flow, to feel. The final part of this journey leads us to understand how deeply your body's rhythms are connected to the world beyond skin and bone. For while the beat within you is quiet, it reflects something vast. It mirrors the ocean tides, the rustling of trees, the flicker of starlight across a night sky. Your heart is not isolated. It listens to the deep pulse of life itself, and in that listening it becomes part of something greater. The heart does more than pump blood. It responds, it adapts, it feels. Within the walls of this ever-moving muscle are cells that fire in perfect time. They are called pacemaker cells, and they do not need instruction. They beat even when removed from the body, like tiny timekeepers carrying the echo of life. And yet these cells are not untouched by the world. They speed up when you laugh, slow down when you sigh, and shift gently when you listen to music, to voices, or to silence. Your heartbeat can change simply by holding someone's hand. It's not fixed. It is alive. Researchers have found that listening to soothing sounds like waves, wind, or soft music can help regulate heart rate and breathing. But more surprisingly, they've learned that the body's rhythms can begin to reflect those sounds, as if your cells were leaning in to hear a familiar tune. There is something extraordinary about that. Your body doesn't just exist in the world, it listens to it. And when the world slows, so do you. When the world rushes, your pulse may rise. The rhythm of life is not something you hold alone. It is shared, borrowed, passed between you and everything around you. Even the stars may have something to say. Scientists studying space have found that certain stars pulse in steady intervals, expanding and contracting like cosmic hearts. These variable stars, as they're called, throb with light in ways that can be measured, timed, even predicted. And when we compare those pulses to biological rhythms, your heartbeat, your breath, your sleep, we find strange harmonies. Of course, a star and a person are not the same, but there is a symmetry, a beauty in the idea that both are bound by cycles. You, made from the dust of stars, carry the rhythm of the cosmos inside your chest. Your emotions too are rhythmic. They rise and fall not only in response to thought, but in response to light, season, movement, and memory. The feeling of peace that comes with a sunrise, the quiet sadness of twilight. These are not coincidences, they are reflections of rhythm. Some researchers believe that depression, anxiety, and other emotional imbalances may be, at least in part, disorders of rhythm, when the body's clocks are out of step with its needs, and if that's true, then healing may begin with something as simple as honouring time, waking with the sun, resting in the dark, listening to music that matches your breath. Many ancient traditions understood this, long before the science came. In old cultures, healing often involved rhythm, drumming, chanting, dancing in circles, lying under the stars. These were not just rituals, they were ways to reconnect the body with time, to remind the heart of its place in the larger symphony. Even now, when words fail, a song can soothe. A lullaby can quiet fear. A heartbeat pressed against another's chest can bring comfort without explanation. We are rhythmic creatures. We understand through feeling what science later proves in numbers. This is what the symphony within means, not just that your body has rhythm, but that your rhythm belongs to something bigger. It is not just biology, it is belonging, a kind of deep remembering, and when you begin to trust that rhythm, life feels different. You stop fighting the silence, you begin to hear it. You wake not with dread, but with a sense of return, and sleep becomes not escape, but reunion. Meals are not interruptions, but rhythms of nourishment. Even sadness becomes a slow tide, part of the natural flow, not something broken to fix. And so the next time you feel overwhelmed by the noise of the world, the deadlines, the alarms, the rush, remember this truth. Underneath it all, your cells are still beating. Your heart is still listening. The body never forgets the rhythm, even when the mind does. It waits, it breathes, it plays on. You do not need to be perfect, you only need to return. Let the rhythm guide you back like a soft melody pulling you from sleep. You are not separate from nature. You are not outside the universe. You're made of the same elements, the same energy, the same time. The symphony within is not yours alone. It is shared by everything that breathes, that grows, that glows in the night sky. So let your heart beat softly tonight, in time with the stars. Let your breath rise and fall like the tide. You are part of the music. You always have been. There is a clock inside you, but it does not tick with numbers or gears. It pulses quietly in your chest, in the soft rhythm of your heart. This clock is older than your name, older than your language. It beats not only with life, but with memory. A memory of light, a memory of darkness, a memory of the moon. The heart, often seen only as a pump, is in truth a sensitive listener. It listens not just to blood, not just to breath, but to time itself. And in the story of that time, the moon plays a gentle role, silent, distant, and yet always near. Long ago, before clocks, before calendars, humans measured time by the moon. It rose and fell in a soft pattern that echoed in our days, our dreams, and our decisions. Even before humans, animals followed the moon's light. Ocean creatures moved with the tides. Birds timed their migrations to its glow. Trees adjusted their chemistry to the silver shadows of full moons. And deep within you, your own heart carries some of this same memory. Scientists have discovered that your body responds not only to the sun's bold rhythm, but also to the moon's subtle touch. During a full moon, some people sleep lighter, dream more, or feel a strange pull they can't explain. It's not just imagination. It may be rhythm, one that began before you were born. Inside the heart are cells that pulse in time. These pacemaker cells are tuned to keep the rhythm steady, but they are not immune to influence. When light changes, when hormones shift, when night stretches longer or shorter, the heart adjusts. Melatonin, The hormone that whispers it's time to sleep rises as darkness falls. But studies have shown that melatonin too can be influenced by moonlight. In certain cycles of the moon, its rise is slower, and sleep becomes lighter. And when sleep changes, so does the heart. Your pulse slows in sleep, it speeds in dreams, and through each phase it listens to the night. It isn't only the light that matters. The moon also pulls at the Earth itself. The tides we see in oceans are not just water moving, they are Earth responding to the moon's gravity. And because your body is mostly water, some scientists believe you too feel this pull in small, delicate ways. Your blood, your organs, your cells, they may shift slightly in rhythm with the tides. It is subtle, not something you feel like a wave, but more like a whisper through your bloodstream. And because the heart is the keeper of that blood, it listens more than most. Some researchers have found patterns in heart attacks, strokes, and sleep disorders that align with moon phases. The data is not always clear, not always agreed upon, but the patterns appear too often to ignore. During full moons, emergency rooms often grow busier. Blood pressure may shift. Restlessness may rise. Could it be that the moon, in its silent arc across the sky, still speaks to the body in a language we forgot how to hear? Could the clock in your chest still remember the light of long-ago moons? Even your menstrual cycle, which moves in a rhythm of roughly 28 days, mirrors the moon's pattern. This is not coincidence. In many languages, the word for month and the word for moon are the same. Ancient people saw this connection and honoured it, living in ways that mirrored the lunar phases. There were rituals for the new moon and offerings for the full. These were not just traditions, they were ways of listening to time through the heart and the body rather than through numbers and clocks. Today, we live in houses with thick walls, bright lights, and glowing screens. The moonlight barely touches us. We stay awake when it's dark, sleep when it's light, eat at all hours, and rush against the natural rhythm. But even now, even in silence, your body remembers. It responds, it adjusts. The heart continues to beat in patterns shaped by light and dark, by stillness and motion. And when you turn off the lights, when you close your eyes, when the night becomes quiet, that memory stirs again. The moon doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It offers rhythm gently. It rises and falls. It waxes and wanes. And the heart, tuned to its own rhythm, may respond in kind. The beat slows. The breath deepens. And in that moment of stillness, something ancient begins to move again, something you didn't know you missed. So next time the moon is full, step outside if you can. Let its light fall on your skin. Listen to your breath. Feel your pulse. Know that inside you something is listening back, not in thought but in rhythm, not in words but in memory. You carry a clock in your chest and the moon still knows how to wind it. Let's drift deeper into this mystery, where the moon's silent journey across the sky continues to echo within you. Though it seems far away, the moon has always had a gentle conversation with your biology, shaping not just your sleep but your mood, your hormones, and even your blood. To understand this quiet relationship, we must move beyond what we can see and instead listen to the slow rhythm that pulses beneath everyday life. The heart as it beats is not alone. It is guided not only by your breath, your nerves, and your choices, but by forces older than thought, subtler than sound. Your body is full of rhythms, some quick and bright, like your breath or a laugh, others slower and deeper, like your dreams or the turn of a season. Among these, the lunar rhythm is one of the oldest. In animals across the world, this rhythm still rules daily life. Coral in the oceans waits for a full moon before it releases its eggs in a breathtaking bloom of underwater life. Wolves time their hunts. Fish rise and fall in schools that seem choreographed not by instinct alone, but by moonlight itself. In these moments it becomes clear. The moon is not only a celestial object, but a keeper of rhythm, a soft conductor guiding life through time. Humans too carry this imprint. Our ancestors lived beneath the open sky, their nights shaped by the phases of the moon. Without electricity or glowing screens, the full moon once meant activity, gatherings, songs, stories shared around firelight. The new moon meant rest, quiet, reflection. These patterns shape the rhythm of life, and though our buildings have changed, our bodies have not forgotten. Modern science has begun to uncover how moonlight still affects sleep. In the days surrounding a full moon, some people experience shorter sleep and longer REM cycles, the time when we dream. The body, it seems, still leans toward the light, even when we've tried to seal it out. But there is more. Beyond sleep, the moon seems to whisper to your blood. Some researchers have noticed that blood pressure subtly rises and falls with the moon's phase. Heart rate variability, the gentle shift in time between each heartbeat, may also be influenced. This variability is not a flaw. It's a sign of resilience, of health, of the body's ability to adapt. When variability shrinks, the body is tense, stressed, too rigid. When it flows with wider rhythm, the body is more relaxed, more responsive. Could it be that the moon helps the heart remember how to be flexible, how to sway rather than resist? The moon's gravity pulls the oceans, but your body, made of more than half water, is no less a sea. Within you are tides too. Your brain floats in fluid, your organs shift slightly as you move, and your heartbeat pushes waves of blood that ripple out to every corner of your body. The gravitational pull of the moon, though weak, might still have influence over these flows. It may be small, but in a system so finely tuned, even small shifts can matter. Like a violin string vibrating in response to a faraway bell, your body might resonate with the moon's quiet pull, aligning your rhythms ever so slightly with the sky. Hormones too may be guided by this lunar rhythm. The pineal gland deep in your brain is responsible for the production of melatonin, which helps regulate sleep. This tiny gland, shaped like a pine cone and as old as vertebrates themselves, is light sensitive. In darkness, it sings melatonin into your blood like a lullaby, urging your body to rest. But in the presence of moonlight, especially when the moon is full, this song may change. The melody softens and the body stirs. Not enough to wake, perhaps, but enough to shift the tone of dreams, of sleep, of heart. Some people feel emotional shifts during certain moon phases. They may feel more restless or reflective, more anxious or energized. Scientists are still studying why this happens. It might be the disruption of sleep, it might be cultural expectation, or it might be something older, something deep in the fabric of being. The moon, after all, has been a symbol of transformation across time. Its phases mirror our inner cycles: fullness, emptiness, growth, retreat. We watch it change and see ourselves reflected. And perhaps in our hearts we remember a time when the moon's light told us when to gather, when to grieve, when to begin again. Even your circadian rhythm, the body's primary clock, is shaped partly by the moon. While sunlight is the main conductor, moonlight may play a softer role, nudging the night's timing like a slow drum behind the melody. In traditional cultures, the lunar cycle was not separate from daily life. It was woven in. Agriculture, fishing, medicine, even childbirth were often planned according to the moon's phase, and the heart, ever responsive, played along. It adjusted not just to the time of day, but to the time of the moon, finding new tempos in each phase. Modern life makes it easy to forget this rhythm. With artificial lighting, constant screens, and 24-hour schedules, we often override our body's natural patterns. We wake when we should sleep, we eat when we should rest, we rush when we should be still, but beneath this noise your body is still listening. It still feels the moon's rise, it still longs for darkness at night and gentleness in the morning. And the heart, beating softly, holds the memory of a slower world. A world where night was truly night, and the moon's glow was enough to walk by, enough to dream by. Tonight, if the moon is visible, try this. First, turn off your lights, sit quietly in the silver glow, place your hand on your heart and feel it beat. Slow, steady, ancient. You don't need to do anything, just listen. Let the moonlight fall across your skin, let your breath match the quiet. You are not doing something new. You're returning to something very old, something your body already knows. The moon has been watching over your rhythm for longer than you've had a name for time. And the heart, faithful, quiet, waiting, remembers. Now let us follow that final thread of rhythm, the one that leads not into science alone, but into meaning. The heart that beats within you does not beat in isolation. It responds, reflects, and remembers the world it came from. The moon, circling above you each night in quiet arcs, has always been part of that world. But more than a light in the sky, it is a reminder, a soft whisper from the cosmos that time is not something you must control, but something you already belong to. In the quiet between beats, in the silver between shadows, the heart listens, and what it hears is the song of the moon. Even now, when we rarely stop to look up, the body remembers. The moon rises. The heart slows. There is comfort in that certainty, a peace in knowing that some rhythms continue no matter how busy the world becomes. Just as ocean tides rise and fall without permission, your body carries on its ancient cycles. You may not notice, but your cells do. They adjust your temperature as night falls. They shift your metabolism as darkness deepens. They prepare you to sleep, to dream, to repair. The moon high above does not instruct with noise. It leads with presence. There is something deeply poetic in this, something that science begins to measure, but that feeling has always known. In times of grief, of change, or joy, we often look to the sky. We feel pulled toward the moon without needing to know why. Perhaps it's because it offers a rhythm that does not rush us. Its phases unfold slowly, gracefully. We don't demand that it move faster. We accept its timing, and in doing so we remember to slow down ourselves. The moon becomes a teacher, and the heart, a student. It follows that slow arc in blood and breath. Some traditions believe that the moon holds emotion, that its fullness reflects energy, its emptiness reflection. Whether or not this is true, the pattern it creates is real. And when you begin to live with this rhythm, your heart benefits. Sleep improves, stress softens, clarity returns, the natural world becomes less of a background and more of a guide. The moon rises not just in the sky, but in your choices. You begin to eat when hungry, rest when tired, move when ready. These are not new practices, they are ancient instincts. The moon has simply been waiting for you to hear them again. Even in hospitals, researchers now explore the idea that timing matters. Surgeries performed at certain hours have better outcomes. Medications given in rhythm with the body's natural clock can heal more effectively. The moon, though rarely considered, may still have a part in this invisible choreography. Not because it commands, but because it reminds. It is a clock not of seconds and alarms, but of phases, of softness, of patience. And your heart, though wrapped in muscle and bone, still notices. In relationships too, rhythm matters. Partners who sleep together begin to sync their heartbeats, their breaths. When one person dreams, the other may turn. When one feels calm, the other's body may echo that stillness. The moon, shining on both, offers a shared rhythm. It does not belong to one, but to all. This shared timing, though invisible, builds connection. It deepens trust. It says, we are part of something larger, and perhaps that is what rhythm truly means. Not just timing, but togetherness. A reminder that your heart is never truly alone. The future of science may give us more details, more ways to measure, to predict, to prove. But even without answers, the rhythm remains. You don't need to explain the moon to feel its pull. You don't need to see the tides to believe in their strength. And you don't need to hear your heartbeat to know it is there, carrying the memory of light and silence. What matters is that you remember to pause, to listen, to return. The rhythm will always welcome you back. So when the night comes and the world quiets, take a moment. Sit near a window or step into the open air. Let the moonlight wash over you. Place your hand on your chest. Feel the quiet music there. It is slow, steady, ancient. It is not just your pulse. It is a story, a memory, a rhythm that reaches back through generations. The moonlight does not need to speak. Your heart already knows the words. This is the clock in your chest. A clock that does not count down but expands. A clock that marks not endings but returns. It does not measure time as a line, but as a circle. And every time the moon rises, it starts again. Your body listens, your breath adjusts, and your heart, quiet, listening, remembering, keeps time. High above you, in the vast dark sea of space, stars burn with ancient fire. They shimmer in stillness, yet they are never still. Every star pulses, trembles, flickers with energy older than the earth. This energy moves in waves, quiet, invisible, patient, and some of it reaches you, not in bolts or blasts, but in soft, persistent streams. When you lie beneath the night sky, you may not feel it, but your body knows. The atoms in your bones, the iron in your blood, the calcium in your teeth, they were all born in stars, and though those stars may have died billions of years ago, their rhythm still echoes in you. You are made of stardust, yes, but also perhaps of star rhythm. Science calls it cosmic radiation, tiny particles that travel across space, passing through planets, air, even skin. Most of them never touch us. Many are filtered by the atmosphere, but some, just a few, reach into the body and touch something quiet. and in that moment, something ancient stirs. Some scientists believe that over long stretches of time, cosmic rays have subtly influenced evolution, not by changing thoughts or feelings, but by shaping cells, adjusting clocks, introducing patterns into the very fabric of biology. These are gentle forces, like ripples spreading from a stone thrown into a calm pond. But even ripples, given time, can shift the shore. Inside your bloodstream there is a rhythm. You feel it as your pulse, as the heartbeat that taps beneath your skin. But there are smaller rhythms too, ones you do not notice, hidden in the movement of ions, the flicker of mitochondria, the cycle of oxygen and carbon dioxide. These rhythms, researchers believe, are not entirely self-contained. They respond to light, to magnetism, to temperature, and maybe even to forces from space. The Earth is constantly bathed in energy, from the sun, the stars, the galaxy itself, and your body, though small, is not separate. It listens in ways we are only beginning to understand. Consider your circadian rhythm again, the cycle of sleep and wakefulness, of hunger and rest. It is mostly tuned to sunlight, yes, but what if other cosmic cues also play a role? Some studies suggest that cosmic rays may subtly influence melatonin production, that mysterious hormone that helps you sleep. During periods of high solar activity, sleep patterns can shift. People report more vivid dreams, lighter rest, or deeper fatigue. And while the cause is debated, the rhythm is real. It suggests that your body may not just be a creature of Earth, but of the solar system. Your clock may tick in tune with the stars. Even your heart responds. During solar storms, sudden releases of charged particles from the sun, some people experience changes in blood pressure, mood, and heart rate. Hospitals quietly prepare for an increase in cardiac events during these periods. The heart, it seems, feels the sun's breath, not as heat but as frequency, as rhythm. These changes are small but they matter. They remind us that the body is not an isolated island, but part of a larger ocean of energy, and the tides of that ocean move with the stars. This idea is not new. Long before telescopes, ancient cultures believed the stars influenced health, emotion, and destiny. They watched the night sky and saw not just beauty, but patterns. In India, in Egypt, in Mesopotamia, healers looked to the stars before choosing herbs, before treating illness. While their science was incomplete, their instinct held truth, that the body and sky were connected, that the rhythm in the stars could reflect the rhythm in the blood. Today we might say it differently. We might speak of electromagnetic fields, of radiation, of resonance, but the feeling is the same, that we are not alone in our rhythm. Even plants respond to space. In controlled experiments, seeds exposed to cosmic radiation grow differently, sometimes faster, sometimes slower. The change is unpredictable, yet undeniable. Life responds, and if seeds, so small, can shift with starlight, why not your cells? Why not the chemistry that fuels your every breath? You're not just made of stardust, you're still in conversation with it. There is a concept in physics called resonance, the way one vibrating object can cause another to vibrate in harmony. A tuning fork strikes, and another nearby begins to hum. Perhaps this is what the stars do. Perhaps their pulse travelling across the emptiness of space reaches you not as noise, but as a hum, a frequency, a whisper. Your blood listens, your heart aligns, not in perfect sync, but in subtle resonance, just enough to remind you where you came from. So tonight, if you find yourself under the stars, try this. Lie still. Feel the earth beneath you. Look up, not to name the stars, but to feel them. Let your breath slow. Let your pulse settle. Somewhere far away a star is pulsing, and somewhere within you, something answers, not with words, not with light, but with rhythm. Let's drift deeper now into the spaces where your blood becomes more than a fluid. It becomes a memory of stars. Inside every red cell is iron, and that iron was not made on Earth. It was forged in the heart of a dying star billions of years ago, in a moment of fire so vast it could shatter worlds. When that star exploded, it scattered its elements across the galaxy, like dust on the wind. Some of that dust drifted through space, fell toward a young planet, and settled into the soil, the oceans, the sky, and eventually into you. The iron in your blood is not just a mineral, it is a relic of cosmic fire. And when your heart beats, it is not just moving blood, it is echoing the energy of a star. This idea is not a metaphor, it is science. Astronomers can trace the elements in your body to specific types of stars, to supernovae and neutron star collisions. They have mapped the timelines, the pressures, the reactions that created the building blocks of life. And yet, even with all that precision, there remains a kind of magic. Because it means that every heartbeat, every breath, every thought is a continuation of something begun light years away. The universe is not out there. It is in here, in your bones, your veins, your eyes. The pulse of the stars did not stop when they died. It moved into you. Inside your cells are tiny power plants called mitochondria. They convert food into energy, fueling every motion, every signal, every spark of thought. And these mitochondria respond to rhythm. They speed up and slow down in time with your body's internal clock. But recent studies suggest that they may also respond to external energy, light, temperature, even magnetic fields. Some researchers believe that cosmic radiation, though faint, may subtly influence how mitochondria work. Not in large, obvious ways, but in shifts of timing, in small adjustments that, over years, shape how energy flows through you. There is also the Schumann resonance, a natural frequency of the Earth's electromagnetic field, created by lightning and trapped between the ground and the atmosphere. It hums at about 7.83 Hz, a sound too low to hear, but always present. Interestingly, this same frequency has been found in brainwaves during deep meditation, during sleep, during moments of stillness. Could it be that your body synchronizes with the Earth's field? And if so, what happens when that field is influenced by solar flares, by cosmic storms, by waves of radiation from distant galaxies? The body, ever sensitive, may shift in response, quietly, gracefully, like a leaf turning in the wind. Your nervous system is especially delicate. It runs on electricity, on charged ions moving across membranes, on signals that must fire at the right time. It is not shielded. It is not sealed off. When external fields change, whether from nearby electronics or distant stars, your body feels it, not with pain, but with rhythm. Some people feel anxious during solar storms, others sleep deeply, some feel nothing at all, but the signals are there, passing through the atmosphere, touching your chair and your cells, your heart. And then there is the pineal gland, that tiny pinecone-shaped part of the brain, long associated with dreams, intuition, and inner light. It is sensitive to magnetism. It produces melatonin, regulates sleep, and may play a role in spiritual experience. Some traditions call it the third eye. Scientists call it a light-sensitive endocrine gland. But either way, it is a place where rhythm and light meet. And some believe it responds not just to the sun, but to cosmic energy. During meteor showers, during eclipses, during alignments of planets, people have reported dreams more vivid, thoughts more clear, or emotions more intense. The pineal gland may be the body's antenna receiving signals from the stars, and so your body becomes a receiver, not just for food, water, air, but for rhythm, for light, for energy too vast to see. You're not just a collection of tissues, you're a living mirror of the cosmos, a soft echo of distant pulses. The blood in your veins moves in time, not only with your heart, but perhaps with something far beyond, something ancient, something that watches from the sky. This is not a call to fear or to control, it is a reminder to listen, to pay attention not just to the sun, but to the stars, not just to time, but to timing. When you feel out of rhythm, when the days blur together, when sleep evades you or emotions swell for no clear reason, it may help to look up. The stars are not demanding your attention, they are simply offering their rhythm, a rhythm that may help guide you home. So tonight, before you close your eyes, let your breath slow. Imagine the sky above you, even if you cannot see it. Know that light from the ancient stars is still arriving, still brushing the earth, still passing through you. Feel your pulse, soft, steady. Ancient. It is not just yours, it is shared. It is cosmic. It is the heartbeat of stars that have long since faded, still echoing in your blood. Now let us follow this rhythm all the way to its quietest, deepest note, the place where science and wonder meet, where the stars no longer shine above but glow softly within. You're not simply affected by the cosmos, you're part of it. Each cell in your body is a fragment of the universe's long memory. Each beat of your heart is not only a sign of life, but a subtle response to the quiet forces that move between galaxies. Even when you sit in silence, even when the night is still, the universe is not. It hums, it pulses, it breathes, and your body listens in ways more ancient than language. This connection does not shout, does not overwhelm. It moves like moonlight through leaves, like wind across tall grass, gentle, constant, impossible to measure with precision, yet always felt. The energy that comes from stars, from the sun, from distant galaxies, travels across time and space to reach you. These particles and waves may seem too small to notice, but life has always been made of small things. Small things, repeated over time, shape everything. The rhythm of the cosmos, layered gently into your blood, your breath, your thoughts, may be one of the softest truths of existence. Think of it this way. When you feel calm under a starry sky, when your thoughts become still and your breathing slows, that is not just emotion. It is resonance. Your body is falling into harmony with the wider universe. The background hum of creation finds an echo in you. You are not a stranger to the stars. You are their echo, their answer, their continuation. And in that stillness, in that quiet moment before sleep, your heart becomes part of a song older than Earth. This is why people across time have turned to the stars for guidance, not only for navigation or myth, but for peace. Something in us remembers. We look up not just for curiosity, but for comfort. The sky is steady. It repeats. It reminds us that even though we change, even though life moves and stumbles, the stars continue to shine. And perhaps, just perhaps, our bodies shine with them in unseen ways. The breath you take now carries atoms once part of a nebula. The heat that warms your hands was first felt in a star's core. The signals in your brain move through channels made possible by elements born in stellar explosions. These aren't poetic thoughts. They're real, tangible. Every heartbeat is a quiet spark lit by ancient fire. And every rhythm your body holds, from sleep to pulse to thought, is not isolated, but part of a greater harmony, one so vast it moves through galaxies. The idea of being connected to the stars does not need to be mystical to be meaningful. It simply asks you to notice, to slow down, to breathe with awareness. When you take a walk under the night sky, you're not just moving through space, you're moving through memory, through origin, and perhaps through destiny. Your body, your cells, your rhythm, all carry the fingerprint of space itself. This means that peace is not something you must chase, it is something you can return to by remembering where you come from. Many traditions speak of alignment, not just of the spine or the thoughts, but of the self with the sky. The ancients built temples to follow the stars, marked seasons by constellations, and sang songs that echoed the movement of planets. These were not just spiritual acts, they were acts of rhythm, of listening, of letting the heartbeat of life sync with the larger beat of time. And in your own small way you can do this too. You don't need rituals or complex knowledge. You only need to pause, to feel the pulse in your wrist, to look up, to remember. Your life is not outside the universe. It is the universe, briefly looking inward. The blood in your veins is not just red with oxygen, it glows with the memory of stars. When you feel lost, when your timing feels broken, when you wonder where you belong, the answer is always above you and within you, in the rhythm that never stopped, the pulse that still beats, the energy that still moves. And so tonight, before you close your eyes, sit quietly. Let the light of the stars, or the memory of them, touch your thoughts. Feel the warmth in your chest, the rhythm in your breath, the silence in your mind. These are not empty. They are full of movement, of memory, of a music too deep to hear. You are not alone. You are part of the oldest song, a song that began before names, a song that carries on in every living thing. You are the pulse of the stars, and you are still singing. Inside you, a quiet miracle unfolds every moment. You do not hear it, yet it surrounds your every breath, every blink, every step. It is not a song in the usual sense. There are no instruments, no notes, but it is music all the same. Your body is a silent orchestra. Each organ plays its part, each system follows a rhythm. They do not speak to one another in words, but in waves, pulses, and signals. Without your awareness, your heart, liver, brain, stomach, lungs, and kidneys are performing a symphony of life together. always in motion, always in time. This orchestra has no conductor in the way a musician might imagine. Instead, it has timing, a natural rhythm that begins before birth and continues until the final breath. Your organs are not just independent workers, they are collaborators. The stomach waits for the mouth to chew, the intestines wait for the stomach to pass food, the liver prepares chemicals to break it all down, and the heart delivers what is needed. These steps unfold like a beautiful relay, one section handing off to another, not with sound, but with signal. It is all guided by invisible timing loops that let the body know what to do and when to do it. At the center of this timing is the circadian rhythm, your body's internal clock. It keeps the beat for your sleep, hunger, alertness, and mood. But beyond this master clock in the brain, each organ has its own little clock, a tiny timekeeper ticking in harmony with the rest. The cells of your liver know when it is night. The lungs breathe differently when you sleep. Your kidneys filter more or less depending on the hour. All of this happens quietly, like instruments tuning to each other before a concert. And when everything is in sync, your body feels well, your mind feels clear, your energy flows like a gentle current. But what happens when the rhythm is disturbed? Imagine a musician playing too fast, another too slow, a third missing their cue. The song begins to fall apart. The same can happen in your body. If you eat when your organs expect to rest, or sleep when your brain expects to wake, the rhythm stumbles. The liver may not detoxify as well. The stomach may struggle to digest. The brain may feel foggy. It's not because the body is weak, it's because the orchestra is trying to play without a shared rhythm. Still, the body adapts. It tries again. It listens. Signals from hormones, nerves, and light help bring the instruments back into tune. When you begin sleeping on a regular schedule, eating with intention, stepping outside in the morning light, your body starts to remember its rhythm. The clocks within you slowly realign. This is why routine feels calming. It's not just habit, it's harmony. A deeper biological harmony that allows your organs to work together without needing you to manage every note. Consider the heart and lungs. They move with your breath and your emotion. When you're calm, the heart slows, the breath deepens. They play in duet, creating a tempo that tells the rest of the body. All is well. In times of stress, they change pace together. The brain notices and adjusts. Muscles tense or relax. Hormones rise or fall. All of this without a single word spoken between them. The body simply listens and responds as if each part understands its place in the whole. The liver and pancreas work together in a similar duet, managing blood sugar, digestion, and detoxification. Their rhythms follow the clock, peaking and resting according to when you eat. If you skip meals or eat late at night, these organs may struggle to keep up, not out of laziness, but because their timing was disrupted. Imagine trying to play your part in a song only to find the other instruments playing at the wrong time. It takes effort to catch up. Your organs feel the same way, but with consistency, the rhythm returns. Even the brain has its timing. It goes through cycles of focus, memory, creativity, and rest. These cycles are not random. They follow waves that rise and fall over the course of the day. When we try to force thinking or productivity during the body's natural low points, we feel resistance. Not because the brain isn't capable, but because it's asking for a pause. When we respect that rhythm, taking breaks, stepping outside, breathing deeply, we find that focus returns more easily. The music plays more smoothly. Sleep is where this silent orchestra truly shines. As you drift into rest, your organs begin a complex shift. The brain clears out waste through a system called the glymphatic system. The heart rate slows, digestion eases, hormones adjust. All of this unfolds in cycles: light sleep, deep sleep, REM, and each cycle supports the next. When sleep is cut short or pushed out of rhythm, the orchestra loses its balance. One section misses its cue and the rest begin to strain. Yet even then, the body tries to repair the rhythm the next night. It forgives, it adjusts, it listens. This is the miracle of the body. Not that it works, but that it works together. That without thought or instruction, your organs communicate in silence, syncing their efforts into one shared rhythm. You do not feel the conversation, but it happens constantly. Through hormones like cortisol and melatonin, through electrical signals, through feedback loops of stunning complexity, your organs speak. And they do so not for their own sake, but for yours. So tonight, as you prepare for rest, take a quiet moment. Sit still, place your hand on your chest, feel your heartbeat, notice your breath. These are not random movements, they are music. And within you, dozens of other rhythms are moving, syncing, listening. You're a silent orchestra, and even now in stillness the song continues. Let's drift deeper now into the body's inner performance, where every organ, though distant in shape and location, shares a secret understanding. The stomach does not see the lungs, the liver does not hear the brain, yet all work in harmony, as if following a sheet of invisible music. This harmony is not born from sound or sight, but from timing, carefully tuned biological timing, written in chemistry, light, and the quiet rise and fall of hormones that drift through the bloodstream like whispered instructions. The coordination is so elegant, so precise, that we often forget it is happening. But it is. Every second, without needing your attention, the body keeps playing. The signals passed between organs are silent, but they are full of meaning. When you eat a meal, your stomach stretches and begins to release hormones. These hormones travel through your blood and arrive at the pancreas, quietly informing it that sugar is coming. The pancreas responds with insulin, a hormone that tells your cells to open and absorb what they need. This moment of cooperation, stomach to pancreas to cell, is one of millions occurring in your body every day, and it unfolds not through urgency, but through rhythm. Each action happens at the right time, in the right place, like instruments coming in at just the right moment in a song. One of the most important rhythms in this orchestra is the rise and fall of cortisol, often called the stress hormone. Cortisol has its own natural rhythm, rising in the early morning to help you wake, then falling gently through the day. When this rhythm is stable, you feel clear, alert, and steady. But when the rhythm is disturbed by poor sleep, by chronic stress, by skipped meals, cortisol may rise at the wrong time. The music shifts. The body begins to feel tense, foggy, anxious. And yet, when you return to natural cycles, light in the morning, rest in the evening, consistent eating, the rhythm begins to heal. The orchestra finds its tune again. Another quiet conductor of this orchestra is melatonin, the hormone of darkness. As night falls, melatonin begins to rise, preparing the brain and body for sleep. But it doesn't only affect your dreams, it gently shifts the activity of organs. The gut slows its work. The liver shifts from digestion to repair. The kidneys adjust how they filter. Melatonin is like a nighttime lullaby, letting each organ know it is time to rest, to reset, to repair. When we delay sleep or flood the body with artificial light, melatonin becomes confused. The rhythm stumbles. The body tries to continue, but the harmony is lost. Even your gut, the so-called second brain, follows its own rhythm, one that moves in slow, gentle waves, known as the migrating motor complex. This pattern sweeps through your intestines every few hours, clearing out waste and preparing for the next meal. But it only plays when you're not eating. When you snack often or eat irregularly, this pattern can't perform. The body loses its tempo, digestion weakens. Bloating, fatigue, discomfort follow. And still, the body tries again. After a few hours of quiet, the wave returns. Like a cello line rejoining a song after a pause, the rhythm resumes. The liver and kidneys perform some of their most important functions at night. They process toxins, recycle nutrients, manage fluid balance. But they do so best when the body is sleeping deeply. This is why late nights, inconsistent sleep, or midnight meals can leave you feeling heavy, unclear, unwell. The body was prepared to perform a quiet repair symphony. Instead, it was asked to digest, to stay alert, to keep moving. Yet if you return to rest, if you allow darkness and stillness to lead, the organs remember. The orchestra begins again. The brain, too, is deeply tuned to rhythm. It communicates with itself through brain waves, patterns of electrical activity that rise and fall depending on your state of mind. In deep sleep, the waves slow. In focused attention, they sharpen. In moments of rest or prayer or meditation, they shift into a soft hum called alpha rhythm. This hum seems to echo the rhythm of the body as a whole. It is in this state that people often feel most in tune, with themselves, with others, with the world. And here again, no sound is needed, only stillness and breath. What is most remarkable is that all of these rhythms of blood sugar, digestion, sleep, breath, thought are not isolated. They speak to one another constantly. A single change, a skipped meal, a restless night, a moment of fear can shift the entire system. The orchestra adjusts. Sometimes it falters, but always it listens. And when conditions are right, regular meals, quiet evenings, peaceful mornings, the harmony returns, like a familiar melody resurfacing in the mind. The beauty of your body's rhythm is that it does not demand perfection. It does not require silence or stillness at all times. It only asks for recognition, for a moment to breathe, for a gentle return. You do not need to understand every chemical, every signal. You only need to honor the feeling of balance. That feeling when your breath is steady, your thoughts are calm, your hunger is clear, your sleep is deep. That is the sound of your body in tune with itself. So the next time you feel rushed or heavy or scattered, pause, breathe, close your eyes if you can, place a hand on your chest, feel the rise and fall. That is your rhythm. It is waiting, it is listening. And beneath that beat, a silent orchestra plays on tirelessly, patiently for you. Now let us follow this orchestra toward its softest notes, the place where rhythm becomes healing, where balance returns not through effort but through trust. Inside you, the body does not ask for loud changes or dramatic shifts. It asks only for rhythm, a sleep that begins around the same time, a meal that arrives when hunger stirs, a breath that is slow, steady, remembered. These are the gentle practices that restore harmony to the silent orchestra. And when the rhythm flows, everything feels easier. Focus returns, digestion settles, energy moves like wind through open fields. The body becomes a place of peace again. One of the quiet truths about your organs is this: they never compete. There is no pride between the lungs and the liver, no argument between the brain and the gut. Instead, each listens carefully, adjusting its pace to match the others. If the heart races from emotion, the lungs respond, slowing or quickening breath. If the stomach is full, the liver steps in to process. The pancreas prepares insulin. The intestines adjust. These organs work not in isolation, but in conversation, an unending dialogue of blood, signal, and silence. And when one part struggles, the others step forward. Not because they are instructed to, but because that is what rhythm asks of them. It is this silent teamwork that allows you to wake each morning, move through your day, think, eat, laugh, cry, and sleep again. And though you may not feel it, this effort is immense. It is the hum beneath your awareness, the song that never stops. Each moment of stillness gives the body a chance to remember its timing. When you step outside in the morning sun, you give your eyes a signal. That light travels to the brain, telling the body the day has begun. Hormones shift, alertness rises, the organs wake up together. And in the evening, when the light fades and quiet returns, the body begins to dim the lights inside. Melatonin rises, heart rate slows, digestion winds down. The song enters its closing notes for the day. In moments of stress or sadness, the rhythm may pause, the breath shortens, the heartbeat skips, the stomach clenches. But even in those moments, your body is not broken. It is responding, trying to help, trying to hold balance. And when the stress passes, the rhythm begins again. Slowly, patiently, the organs return to their places. It may take time, but time is something rhythm understands. There is no rush, only return. This is why rest is not a luxury. It is a part of the rhythm. The pauses between notes make the music meaningful. When you rest, truly rest, you allow your organs to do their deeper work. The liver processes, the brain files memory, the gut repairs, the heart recovers. These acts are invisible, but they are the roots of well-being. Just as a violinist rests their hands between songs, the body too needs its pause. And in those pauses, healing begins. There is also rhythm in emotion. Joy, sadness, anger, peace, each has its own frequency. Your organs feel them. A stomach may twist with anxiety. A heart may lift with gratitude. A brain may quiet with wonder. These responses are not weakness, they are music. They tell you that the body is listening to your life, that your story is being held not just in memory, but in muscle and breath and blood. When you speak kindly to yourself, when you forgive, when you slow down to feel, your organs respond. The rhythm softens, the harmony deepens. In traditional medicine systems, the idea of rhythm is central. In Chinese medicine, organs are believed to have hours of peak energy. In Ayurveda, times of day are matched with body types and elements. These systems, though thousands of years old, reflect a deep truth. The body is not a machine to be pushed, but an ecosystem to be tuned. Modern science is beginning to agree. Studies show that eating, sleeping, and working in line with the body's natural rhythms improves digestion, mood, immune response, and even lifespan. It's not magic, it's rhythm. Gentle, steady, ancient. Even your relationships are rhythmic. When people live together, their hearts begin to sync, their breath aligns, their sleep patterns grow similar. Touch, conversation, presence, all these are rhythms shared between bodies. And in this shared rhythm, healing can happen. A calm voice, a steady hand, a shared laugh. These are not small things, they are medicine. They remind the body it is not alone, that others are listening, that harmony is possible, and so that the next time you feel unwell, not just sick, but scattered, weary, out of tune, ask gently, "Where has my rhythm gone?" And then listen. Maybe it's in your breath, maybe in your sleep, maybe in a skipped meal or a missed sunrise. The answer will not to shout, it will whisper, and when you hear it, you can return, step by step, note by note. Tonight, as your body prepares for rest, remember the orchestra. You do not need to conduct it, you only need to trust it. Lie down, let the breath slow, let the thoughts float by, let the organs begin their nighttime song. You are not broken, you are not late. You are simply finding your rhythm again, and the body, your faithful orchestra, is ready to play. Inside your body, a quiet storm of signals flows every moment, faster than thought, faster than sound. It begins in the soft folds of your brain and races down the long threads of nerves that reach out to every part of you. These signals are not chaotic, they are music, not in notes or melodies, but in precise timing, pulses, and rhythms. This is the nervous system's hidden song, the electrical symphony that lets you see, think, feel, move, and remember. And though you do not hear it, your life depends on it. Every blink, every step, every word you speak is shaped by these signals traveling invisibly through you like light through wires. The neurons that carry these signals are unlike any other cells in the body. They do not simply divide or grow, they listen, respond, and pass on messages in elegant patterns. Each neuron is shaped like a tree with branches that reach out to receive information and a long trunk that carries the message forward. When one neuron speaks, it does so with an electric pulse. That pulse travels down the neuron to a tiny gap called a synapse, where it releases chemicals called neurotransmitters, gentle messengers that float across to the next cell and spark a new pulse. This is the conversation of the nervous system. It is not spoken in words, but in timing, in chemistry, in rhythm. This rhythm begins even before birth. As your brain forms, neurons begin to fire in waves, teaching one another how to communicate. They build pathways, roads that connect memory to motion, emotion to thought, feeling to action. And over time, these pathways become more refined. Some signals speed up, others quiet down. It's not unlike a rehearsal, one that never ends. The brain is always listening, always learning, always fine-tuning the music of the self. The speed of these signals is astonishing. Some can travel over 250 miles per hour, but it's not just speed that matters, it's timing. If a signal arrives too early or too late, the message may be lost, muscles may twitch, words may stumble, feelings may overwhelm. That's why rhythm is so important in the nervous system. The brain does not only care about what happens, it cares about when. It plays life like a piece of music where even the silences have meaning. Even simple actions, like reaching for a glass of water, involve a chorus of signals. The brain must calculate distance, send a message to the muscles, receive feedback from the eyes, adjust the hand's position, and then send confirmation that the task is done. All of this happens in a fraction of a second, and it happens every day, effortlessly. The rhythm is so well rehearsed that you never notice. But inside, the nerves are singing. Your senses are part of this song too. When light hits your eyes, it triggers neurons that convert it into signals. These travel to the brain, where they are interpreted as images. When sound waves touch your ears, they are turned into vibrations, then signals, then music or voice. The skin feels pressure, the nose smells air, the tongue tastes food, all because nerves are interpreting waves, chemicals, and contact into meaning. The entire world, from light to flavor to emotion, is experienced because of these quiet electrical rhythms. But the nervous system is not only for action, it is also for emotion. Feelings arise from patterns of signals flowing through specific parts of the brain. The amygdala lights up when you feel fear. The prefrontal cortex helps you make decisions. The hippocampus holds memories, while the brainstem regulates the pulse and breath that respond to your thoughts. These areas do not act alone. They communicate constantly. A memory can spark a tear. A sound can cause a smile. A thought can calm the heart. These connections are not random. They are music. And every emotional note plays through the nervous system's rhythm. When stress arrives, the rhythm changes. The brain sends signals to the adrenal glands, which release hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. These increase heart rate, tighten muscles, sharpen vision. It is the body preparing for challenge. But if stress remains for too long, the rhythm becomes uneven. Signals begin to race. The nervous system plays too fast, too loud. The body tires. Focus fades. Sleep becomes scattered. The music turns to noise. This is why calm is essential, not as an escape, but as a return to rhythm. Practices like deep breathing, walking in nature, listening to music, or meditating can help the nervous system retune itself. These actions send signals back to the brain saying, "It is safe now, you can slow down." And when the brain receives this message, it softens. The breath lengthens, the heartbeat slows, the nerves stop shouting and begin to whisper. The music returns. Even in sleep, the nervous system plays its song. During certain stages of rest, waves of electrical activity sweep through the brain in slow, rhythmic patterns. These waves help process memory, regulate mood, and prepare the brain for the next day. The deepest sleep is marked by the slowest, most peaceful rhythms. And when you wake, if that rhythm has been respected, the body feels refreshed. If not, the day begins off-key. This silent song of nerves is also how the body heals. When you cut your finger or feel pain, nerves send messages to the brain, which responds by directing white blood cells, increasing blood flow, and altering behavior to protect the wound. Even emotional pain follows this path. Loss, grief, anxiety, all trigger patterns in the nervous system that affect the body's rhythm. But over time, as the signals shift, healing begins. Slowly, gently, the nervous system rewrites its music. So tonight, when you sit in quiet or lie down to sleep, know that inside you a great concert continues. Your nerves are listening. Your brain is balancing. Your body is adjusting the volume and tempo of each part. And though you cannot hear it, you are the conductor and the listener both. The music of life is playing, and the nerves, those delicate strings and currents, are carrying every note. Let's wander now into the pathways of the nervous system, where signals not only travel but begin to harmonize, layering one upon the next to create something more than motion, more than response. They create memory. They create self. Inside your brain are more than 86 billion neurons, each capable of connecting to thousands of others. These connections, called synapses, form the vast landscape of your inner life. And every time a memory is made, a thought is formed, or a sensation is recognized, it happens through the rhythm of these signals. Neurons that fire together begin to wire together. This is how learning happens, through rhythm repeated, through patterns practiced again and again until they become part of you. Consider the way you learn to ride a bicycle. At first, every movement feels separate. Your legs pushing, your arms steering, your eyes balancing against the tilt. But with time, the nervous system begins to bind those actions together. It turns scattered motions into flow. And once learned, the rhythm remains. Even years later, the body remembers. The brain may forget a name, but the nerves recall the balance, the timing, the feel of the wheels. This is motor memory, written not in words but in pulses that repeat like a quiet drumbeat through the nervous system. Language too depends on rhythm. The ability to speak and understand comes not just from vocabulary, but from the timing of signals in the brain. When someone speaks, your ears pick up sound waves, but it's the temporal lobe that interprets meaning. The neurons fire in patterns that match the flow of speech. Pauses matter. Syllables matter. The nervous system listens not only to what is said, but how it is said. This is why music and language live in similar parts of the brain. They are both built on patterns, on rising and falling rhythms that give shape to thought and feeling. Even creativity comes from rhythm. When an idea sparks, it lights up a network of regions in the brain, the prefrontal cortex, the default mode network, the temporal lobes. These areas begin to pulse in a kind of dance, exchanging signals in loops and spirals. The flow of inspiration is not chaotic, it has a rhythm, even if it feels spontaneous. Artists, writers, musicians all speak of being in the zone, a state where ideas arrive fluidly, without force. That zone is neurological rhythm, a moment when the brain's signals are flowing in sync, unhindered, like a river through an open valley. Emotion too has rhythm. Joy may come in quick, bright pulses. Sadness may move like a slow tide. Anger flares fast, then falls away. Each emotion changes the signals in the brain, and the body responds. The heart rate shifts, muscles tense or relax, breath deepens or shortens, and all of it happens through nerve signals, tiny electrical waves that carry not just commands but meaning. The nervous system is not just reacting, it is feeling. It is reflecting the music of your life. This is why practices like mindfulness and meditation can reshape the nervous system. When you sit in stillness and notice your breath, you are training the brain to slow its rhythm. You are asking the neurons to fire more softly, more evenly. And over time, this training changes you. The amygdala, the brain's fear center, becomes less reactive. The prefrontal cortex, where calm decisions are made, becomes stronger. This is called neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change its shape and rhythm based on experience. And it proves that even the deepest patterns can be rewritten with care, with attention, with time. The same is true of trauma. When something frightening or overwhelming happens, the nervous system responds quickly, sending signals that flood the body with adrenaline, preparing to run or freeze or fight. In a healthy rhythm, this response fades once the danger passes, but sometimes the rhythm gets stuck. The nervous system keeps playing the same alarm even when the danger is gone. This is why trauma can linger. The signals keep firing, the body stays tense, the music never quiets. But healing is possible. Through therapy, through movement, through time, the nervous system can find a new rhythm. The song can change. Touch is one of the most powerful tools for rhythm. A hug, a hand held, a gentle press of the palm. These all send signals through the skin to the brain, telling it, you are safe. The body responds, the heart slows, the breath evens. This is why infants need to be held, why partners feel peace when they lie close, why pets calm us with their weight. It is rhythm shared, felt through the nerves. No words needed, just presence. Even dreams are shaped by signal rhythm. During REM sleep, the brain fires in patterns that mimic waking life. It replays memories, reshapes ideas, releases feelings. And though the muscles are stilled, the nervous system is active, pulsing through stories that help the mind heal. When we wake from deep rhythmic sleep, we feel restored, not just because we rested, but because the nervous system was allowed to play its full nocturnal song. What all of this reveals is simple. Your nervous system is not just a set of wires. It is a living orchestra. Each neuron a string, each signal a note, each connection a melody. And though you cannot hear it, the music plays on, in movement, in thought, in rest, in love. So the next time you feel a rush of emotion, a wave of energy, a flash of memory, pause, listen. That is your nervous system speaking in rhythm. A quiet music, a language without words. And it's telling you that you are alive, that you are here, that the song continues. Now we arrive at the softest part of the song, the moment where the nervous system's rhythms begin to blur with awareness itself. Beneath every heartbeat, behind every thought, the nerves continue their work, steady and silent. And yet something about this rhythm does more than sustain life. It creates presence. It gives rise to attention, to reflection, to the quiet hum of being. The music of the nervous system is not just for function, it is for feeling. It is how you know you are here, how you know you are real. Each breath you take sends signals through nerves that reach the brainstem, a place deep within the skull where life's most essential rhythms are managed. This is the oldest part of the brain, the first conductor in the orchestra of you. It listens to your breath, your heartbeat, the tension in your muscles, and makes decisions without words. When you are calm, it softens your pulse. When you are in danger, it sharpens your awareness. And when you rest, it plays the rhythms that carry you into sleep. You never had to ask it. It has always known what to do, but the beauty lies in the fact that you can still speak back. You can slow your breath and the brainstem listens. You can release your shoulders and the nervous system adjusts. These tiny actions, each one a signal, remind the body that safety is present, that peace is possible, and in that moment, the rhythm shifts, the music becomes softer, more balanced. This is the gift of self-regulation, of learning to play your own inner instrument with care and intention. One of the most powerful examples of this rhythm is the vagus nerve. It is the longest cranial nerve in the body, winding from the brainstem through the neck into the chest and abdomen. It touches the heart, the lungs, the gut, and it carries messages in both directions, from body to brain, from brain to body. When the vagus nerve is calm, the body enters a state called parasympathetic dominance, also known as rest and digest. The heartbeat slows, digestion improves, the breath deepens. This is not sleep, but safety. It is the rhythm of peace. Many healing practices, from chanting to humming to yoga to cold water immersion, stimulate the vagus nerve. They send waves through the body that ripple into the nervous system, calming the entire system without words. And through repetition, these rhythms can reshape your baseline. They can teach your nervous system to default, not to tension, but to ease. This is not a cure, it is a remembering, a return to the rhythm that was always there waiting beneath the noise. When we experience beauty, a sunset, a poem, a song, the nervous system responds too. The eyes widen, the breath catches, the skin tingles, the brain lights up with signals that say, "This moment matters." That is rhythm too, an emotional resonance felt through every nerve. It is not thought, it is sensation, the body reminding you that you are part of something meaningful. Close your eyes and imagine something so small it dances just beneath the threshold of sight. Not a sound, not a whisper, and yet it hums with life. Inside your body, trillions of cells move together in a quiet rhythm, each one pulsing with a timing all its own. These cells do not have drums or metronomes, yet somehow they know when to divide, when to rest, and when to reach out in tiny waves of energy. This timing is not random. It is guided by ancient instructions written into your very being. Instructions older than memory, older than the bones of mountains. From the moment you are a cluster of dividing cells, a kind of inner rhythm has played, a symphony of tiny lives working in unison. Deep in the heart of each cell lives a gentle clock. It is not a ticking clock like the ones we wear or place on walls. It is a molecular rhythm, created by cycles of proteins that build up and fade away, rise and fall like breath. These proteins, some with names like clock and BML1, bind together, drift apart, and reset themselves in patterns so predictable they could rival the turning of the earth. They are what scientists call circadian rhythms, natural cycles that help the body know when to wake, when to sleep, when to eat, and when to heal. They do this without words, without lights, without any conductor in sight. Just a loop of chemistry, endlessly unfolding like the tide pulling the sea. Even the simplest creatures, tiny single-celled organisms floating in a drop of pond water, obey these rhythms. They know when the light is coming, and they know when to hide. And though they have no eyes or ears, they respond as if they sense the sunrise itself. How can they know? Because life learned long ago to dance in step with the universe. As the earth spins and the light returns, cells have evolved to listen. Every sunrise leaves a mark, every sunset a silence. Your body remembers those changes, not with thought, but with chemistry. That memory sits in the smallest engines of life. Now think of your heartbeat. It is not just a thump in your chest. It is a response, a ripple, a signal that something deeper is keeping time. The cells in your heart beat together because they share signals through electric pulses, silent sparks that leap across membranes. But those sparks are also controlled by your cellular clocks. These clocks tell your heart to slow down when the moon rises and to quicken when daylight touches your skin. Even if you flew across time zones, your cells would try to adjust, rebalancing themselves to match the light of the new sky. They resist change at first, but given enough time, they align once again. This rhythm is not confined to one place. Your liver, your skin, your lungs all have clocks of their own. Like a scattered orchestra tuning before a concert, these organs communicate with one another through hormones and signals. They wait for cues from a special place in the brain, deep inside the hypothalamus. This tiny part of your mind houses the suprachiasmatic nucleus, a name long and complicated, But its job is simple: to keep time. It receives signals from your eyes, letting it know when light has arrived. In response, it tells the rest of the body, the day has begun. This command travels not through shouting or alarms, but through gentle chemical messengers, flowing like notes in a song. And yet, sometimes the body sings a different tune. When we sleep too late or rise too early, when we stare too long at glowing screens, or cross oceans in hours, we disturb the harmony. The rhythm stumbles. We feel tired, dizzy, unfocused. That feeling has a name: circadian misalignment. It is the biological version of being out of step. The cells lose their timing, the music falters, and still they try to find their way back. Slowly, patiently, they retune themselves, waiting for the rhythm to return. But how did all of this begin? Long before cities or clocks or even humans, the Earth spun in darkness and light. For billions of years, life was shaped by the turning of the planet. The first life forms learned that light meant food and dark meant rest. Over time, those lessons sank deep into biology itself. Even now, when scientists take cells from a human and place them in a dish, those cells still follow a 24-hour rhythm. They remember. Not because they think, but because they feel the passage of time in their very chemistry. They do not need a brain to know the hour. They only need what they've always had: molecules that rise and fall like waves on the shore. Your body is not a machine that runs on a fixed setting. It is more like a garden, changing with the season, adjusting to the sun. When you eat, when you move, when you dream, it all shifts the rhythm. A meal at the wrong hour can confuse your liver. A sleepless night can silence the beat in your muscles. But the beauty of the system is this: it never stops trying. Like a song that drifts in and out of tune, your body returns to harmony again and again. And in the cosmos, stillness is everywhere. Between the stars are vast spaces of silence. Between galaxies, black quiet expands in every direction. Yet even this silence is alive with potential. Scientists call it dark matter, dark energy, not because it is evil, but because it is hidden, unseen, and possibly the structure that holds the universe together. Stillness, again, is not absence. It is presence without motion, a kind of cosmic breath. In the body, stillness is healing. When you sit quietly, eyes soft, breath slow, your nervous system shifts. The sympathetic system, the one that drives action, steps back. The parasympathetic system, the one that restores, steps in. The heart rate slows, muscles relax, digestion improves, memory strengthens. Stillness becomes medicine. It is not something you earn, it is something you return to. But we live in a world that rushes, that fills every silence with sound, that rewards motion over rest, noise over quiet. And yet your body cannot live like that for long. Without stillness, the rhythm breaks, the heart tires, the breath shortens, the mind races, and the space between beats disappears. Life begins to feel flat, anxious, unfinished. This is why rest is sacred, why naps, soft mornings, slow walks, and quiet nights matter. They are not laziness, they are rhythm. They give your body a chance to remember its timing, to reset the beat, to restore the breath. Even a moment of stillness, a single minute with your eyes closed and your jaw unclenched, can begin the process. You don't need hours. You need attention. You need willingness to pause. Stillness also teaches. In the quiet, the truth becomes clearer. Emotions surface, thoughts settle, patterns show themselves. It can feel uncomfortable at first, like noise growing louder when the world stops. But if you stay, if you breathe, the discomfort shifts. The body begins to speak. The rhythm becomes gentle again. And the pause between beats feels less like emptiness and more like home. In relationships, stillness matters too. Not every moment needs words, not every silence is a problem. To sit quietly with someone, to breathe together without speaking, is one of the deepest forms of connection. The body senses it, the heart aligns, the breath sinks. Stillness shared becomes rhythm multiplied. It tells the nervous system, I am safe here, I am not alone. Even in creativity, stillness plays its part. Inspiration doesn't arrive in noise, it waits in the quiet. The pause between thoughts, the breath before a line, the moment when nothing is forced, this is where ideas come. The mind, given space, offers treasures. The heart, given quiet, offers truth. Stillness is not passive, it is listening, it is readiness. And so we begin to see that stillness is not the opposite of life, it is part of it, a necessary, beautiful part. The night is not the end of the day, it is its companion. The rest in music is not the absence of sound, it is what gives sound its meaning. The space between your heartbeats is not a failure, it is the moment that makes each beat matter. Tonight, if the world feels too fast, too loud, too much, find stillness. You don't need silence. You don't need perfect peace. You only need to pause, to feel your breath, to notice the space between inhales, between thoughts, between the beats in your chest. That space is yours. It has been there all along, waiting like an old friend. Let it hold you, let it remind you. You are not made to move without resting. You are not made to speak without pausing. You are not made to live without stillness. Because in the breath between beats, the universe waits, and so do you. Let's move gently now into the deeper folds of stillness, not the outer quiet of a dark room or a paused breath, but the inner stillness that lives even while the world keeps moving. This stillness is not about stopping everything, it is about finding peace inside the rhythm. It is the moment when your body does not resist, when your thoughts do not fight, when your breath feels enough. It can happen in a crowded room, it can happen during a long walk, it can even happen in sorrow. Because stillness is not just about silence, it is about surrender. It is about coming home to the space where nothing needs to be changed right away. Your body knows this space. You have touched it before, maybe in the final moment before falling asleep, when the muscles release their grip. Maybe in the softness after crying, when the heart slows and there is nothing left to say. Maybe in awe, when beauty holds you still, not frozen, but softened. These are not accidents. They are returns. Returns to a state the body longs for, a rhythm where nothing needs to happen, where you are allowed to be. Inside your cells, even now, are cycles of rest. Mitochondria, the small engines of your cells, work in pulses. They do not run constantly. They push and pause. They burn energy, then restore. If they did not pause, they would collapse. This is the design of nature. Motion and stillness, effort and ease. Your cells follow it. Your organs follow it. Even your DNA opens and closes in rhythm. These pauses are not failures. They are wisdom. Life built on stillness, folded into every breath. Your emotions also need stillness. Not the kind where you shut them down, but the kind where you make space for them. When you allow a feeling to exist without pushing it away, you give it a place to rest. The body no longer braces. The heart no longer hides. Instead of being trapped, the emotion moves through. Grief softens, anger cools, joy expands. This is what stillness offers, not escape, but a space wide enough to hold what you feel without breaking. Many people think healing happens through doing, through fixing, changing, solving. But some of the deepest healing happens through stopping, through breathing, through waiting long enough for the body to catch up. Stillness allows this. It is the pause that gives the heart time to realign, the nervous system time to settle, the spirit time to listen. It is not inactivity. It is preparation, a gentle tuning before the next movement of life. And in stillness, your perception sharpens. You notice things you missed, the weight of your body in the chair, the sound of your breath in your chest, the way the light touches the floor. Time stretches, not as a burden, but as a gift. Each moment becomes enough. Each moment becomes a doorway. This is why mindfulness begins with presence, why peace begins with noticing. The still mind doesn't stop thinking, it stops rushing. It learns to sit beside the thought instead of chasing it. There is also stillness in nature. Trees do not hurry. Stones do not resist. Rivers, even as they move, have moments of still pools and soft curves. The natural world teaches slowness without shame. It does not apologize for its pace. And when you step into that world, when your feet touch soil, or your skin feels wind, your body begins to remember. The breath deepens, the muscles unwind, the rhythm returns. You don't have to do anything for this to happen. You only have to be near it. You only have to let it in. Even in art, stillness holds meaning. In paintings, the empty spaces matter as much as the brushstrokes. In music, the rests shape the melody. In dance, the pause gives the movement power. Stillness is not what breaks the rhythm, It is what makes the rhythm whole. It is the space where the mind can absorb, where the heart can respond, where the soul can breathe. And in the body, stillness does not mean stiffness. It means fluid quiet, a state of calm readiness, like a bird perched before flight, like a seed resting before bloom. The still body is not lifeless. It is listening for the next rhythm, the next cue. This is the stillness that heals, the stillness that prepares, the stillness that remembers what rushing forgets. Many people resist stillness because it feels unfamiliar, it feels unproductive. But this is only because we've forgotten its value. Stillness is not a lack of effort. It is a different kind of work, the work of trust. Trusting that your body knows what to do. Trusting that not every moment must be filled. Trusting that rest is not laziness. It is essential. So take a moment now, close your eyes if you like. Feel the breath entering and leaving your body. Feel the air resting in your lungs before it turns. That is stillness. It has always been there. You don't have to force it. You only have to notice it. And when you do, the rhythm returns. Not louder, not faster, but clearer, more honest, more whole. Because stillness isn't the opposite of life. It is the breath between everything. And when you welcome it, life becomes music again. Now let us settle into the final rhythm of stillness, not as a moment, but as a way of being. The pause between beats is not a place we visit only in rest. It is something we can carry with us. Like a quiet space inside, untouched by noise, stillness becomes an inner home, a presence that does not vanish when life moves again, but softens the motion itself. When you begin to live with stillness, it doesn't mean you stop acting. It means you begin choosing each movement with care. You no longer rush because you must. You move because it is time. The breath between beats becomes a teacher. It shows you that every action can begin from a place of calm. You wake not with urgency, but with awareness. You eat not with distraction, but with attention. You speak not to fill space, but to offer meaning. In this way, stillness becomes woven into the rhythm of your day. You're not trying to be quiet. You're simply listening more closely to your body, to the world, to the space around the next step. Your nervous system responds to this. When you begin your day with a moment of quiet, even just a breath, your brain receives a signal. I am Muv, I do not need to rush. The chemicals that guide your focus, your energy, your mood begin to flow more gently. The vagus nerve engages, calming the heart. Blood pressure eases, muscles hold less tension, and over time this becomes a pattern, a rhythm that the body remembers even on harder days. Stillness becomes not an escape, but a foundation. This is how resilience is built, not through pushing, but through pacing. A runner learns to pause between sprints. A musician rests between performances. A tree grows through seasons of quiet. Stillness is what allows the rhythm to endure. It protects the song from burning out. It gives the heart space to keep beating. This is not weakness. It is wisdom. The wisdom of cycles, the wisdom of breath, the wisdom of the pause. And in relationships, stillness offers depth. When we stop filling every silence, we begin to hear each other. When we stop reacting, we begin to respond. A pause before a word, a breath before a reply. These small moments of stillness can change the entire tone of a conversation. They invite presence. They offer kindness. They create space where understanding can grow. Just like the body needs pause, so does connection. Even in pain, stillness can be a balm. It does not erase what hurts, but it offers a place to hold the pain without collapsing under it. When sorrow arrives, you do not need to run. You can sit with it, breathe with it, let it pass through like wind through tall grass. Stillness gives the sorrow a place to land, and once it lands, it can soften. It can change. The breath continues. The heart keeps beating, and life, though altered, carries on. As the world spins faster, learning to live with stillness is an act of courage. It means stepping out of the rush. It means not measuring your worth by how much you do. It means trusting that your body's wisdom, the natural pull toward pause, is something to honor, not ignore. And in that trust you find freedom. Freedom to rest, freedom to reflect, freedom to just be. The universe itself is full of rhythm. Stars pulse in quiet cycles. Moons wax and wane. Tides rise and fall. And between each of these movements is stillness, a pause, a breath. These spaces are not mistakes. They are part of the design. You are made of this same design. You are not built to be in constant motion. You are built for rhythm, and rhythm requires rest. Tonight, as you lie down, let yourself enter that breath between beats. Feel your heart slow. Feel your lungs expand and release. Feel the warmth of your body settle into quiet. There is nothing to do, nothing to fix. The rhythm continues on its own. You do not need to control it. You only need to follow it home. This stillness is not emptiness. It is fullness without noise. It is presence without effort. It is the music the universe makes when no one is playing. And you, simply by being here, are part of it. Part of the breath. Part of the beat. Part of the stillness between all things. So rest now. Let your breath carry you. Let your heart lead you. Let the quiet hold you. You're not falling behind. You are falling into rhythm. And in this breath, in this pause, in this final stillness, you are home.